Have you ever wondered why the workplace communication between a millennial and a Gen Z employee feels like they're using two different operating systems? One leaves a detailed 5-paragraph email with a clear subject line. The other replies with a single lowercase k. One schedules a quick 15-minute sync. The other gets a jolt of anxiety from an unscheduled phone call, staring at their screen until it goes to voicemail. Both think they're being perfectly efficient. Both are driving each other crazy. These tiny daily frictions aren't just office gossip, they're symptoms of a much bigger story. A 2023 LinkedIn report hinted at this growing tension, and other studies confirm it. Nearly 60% of employees feel stressed due to generational differences at work. This isn't just about annoyance, it's about productivity, collaboration, and your sanity. Today, we're not just listing the differences, we're decoding them. We're diving deep into the 5 biggest work culture gaps between Gen Z and Millennials, exposing the hidden reasons behind them, and showing you how to turn this generational clash into a collaborative powerhouse. Don't let generational gaps sabotage your career. Hit that subscribe button for GenShift, and let's start decoding the modern workplace. One. Communication style, the elaborate email versus the instant message. First up, the communication battleground. For many millennials, the gold standard of professional communication is the well-crafted email. It's structured, it's official, and it creates a paper trail. They grew up adapting to technology, treating email like a digital version of a formal letter. They might even feel a sense of satisfaction answering emails after hours, proving their dedication. Then Gen Z enters the chat, literally. For them, email is the equivalent of sending a message by Raven. It's slow, clunky, and formal to a fault. They are true digital natives, shaped by the instant, rapid-fire nature of platforms like Slack, Discord, and social media DMs. Their communication is built for speed and efficiency, often using slang, lowercase letters, and a flurry of emojis to convey tone and context. This leads to a classic misunderstanding. A millennial manager sends a detailed project brief via email. The Gen Z team member sees it, understands it, and replies on Slack with a thumbs-up emoji. To Gen Z, that means, got it, I'm on it. To the millennial manager, it can feel dismissive or unprofessional. And let's talk about the phone. The unscheduled call is Gen Z's kryptonite. This phenomenon, often called telephobia, is very real. A 2024 study found that 61% of Gen Z prefer text-based communication in almost every scenario. It's not that they can't talk, it's the lack of preparation time. A call demands an instant, unfiltered response, which can trigger genuine anxiety for a generation used to crafting the perfect reply. The consequence: millennials might perceive Gen Z as lacking professionalism or being poor communicators, while Gen Z sees millennial methods as inefficient and painfully slow. The potential for improvement is huge. It starts with establishing clear communication protocols. When is an email necessary? When is a Slack message appropriate? When is a call actually required? By creating a communication playbook, teams can leverage the millennial preference for detailed documentation and the Gen Z need for rapid real-time collaboration. It's about learning to be multilingual in the workplace. 2. Attitude to hours and overtime, blurry lines versus hard boundaries. Next, let's talk about time, specifically the time between 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. For many millennials, that boundary is blurry. Having entered the workforce in the shadow of the 2008 financial crisis, they internalized a hustle culture mentality. Working late, answering emails at 10 p.m., and being constantly available were seen as necessary evils to prove your worth and secure your job. A Gallup poll found that 38% of millennials think it's perfectly fine for their boss to contact them at any time. It's not that they love it, it's that they were conditioned to accept it as part of the deal. Gen Z looks at this and says, absolutely not. They witnessed the burnout this culture created and are drawing a hard line in the sand. For them, work-life balance isn't a perk, it's a non-negotiable requirement. Data from 2023 shows that 7 out of 10 Gen Zers prioritize family and personal relationships over their career. This isn't laziness. It's a strategic move to protect their most valuable asset, their mental health. They are the generation of quiet quitting, not because they don't want to work, but because they refuse to perform uncompensated labor beyond their job description. This creates a major point of friction. A millennial manager might send a quick question on a Sunday evening, seeing it as efficient. A Gen Z employee sees that notification and feels their personal time is being violated, leading to resentment and disengagement. The manager thinks they're dedicated. The employee thinks they're being exploited. The solution isn't for one side to surrender. It's to shift the focus from time spent to results delivered. Companies leading the way are implementing right to disconnect policies, encouraging employees to fully log off after hours. This respects Gen Z's need for boundaries while forcing millennial managers to plan better. By measuring success based on output, not on who answers emails, the latest organizations can create a healthier, more sustainable culture where everyone wins. 3. Career ambitions, climbing the ladder versus building a portfolio. Difference number 3 is a big one, and it fundamentally changes how we think about motivation. For decades, the ultimate career goal was simple: climb the corporate ladder. Millennials, while not as traditionally loyal as previous generations, still largely operated within this framework. A promotion, a better title, a bigger office, these were the clear markers of success. Gen Z has completely shattered that model. Get ready for a truly shocking statistic from Deloitte's 2025 global survey. Only 6% of Gen Z say their primary career goal is to reach a senior leadership position. Let that sink in. The ambition isn't gone. It has been radically redefined. Instead of climbing up, Gen Z is focused on building out. Their ambition is horizontal, not vertical. They prioritize learning and development above almost everything else, seeing it as a top reason to choose an employer. They are obsessed with collecting skills, data analytics, coding, project management, social media marketing to build a diverse and resilient career portfolio. Why? Because they are pragmatists. They saw corporate loyalty evaporate after 2008 and during the pandemic. They know a fancy title at one company is worthless if they get laid off. A versatile skill set, however, is portable. It gives them options. It allows them to pivot, launch a side hustle, or jump to a completely different industry. They've also seen the price of leadership, the stress, the burnout, the lack of work-life balance, and are actively deciding the cost is too high. This leads to a huge misunderstanding in management. A millennial manager might see a Gen Z employee who isn't gunning for their job as unambitious. In reality, that employee might be the most ambitious person on the team, just playing a different game. The path forward requires a new playbook for growth. Instead of a single career ladder, companies need to create a career jungle gym with clear pathways for skill development, cross-functional projects, and robust mentorship programs. Success should be measured by the capabilities and employee gains, not just the title they hold. So where do you fall in these first 3 divides? Are you a card-carrying, email-loving millennial, or a phone call-fearing Gen Z, or are you somewhere in between? Drop your funniest, lost in translation workplace story in the comments below. We'd love to read it. 4. Feedback and management. The annual review versus the constant stream. All right, let's talk about feedback. If communication is the battleground, feedback is the weapon of choice, and each generation wields it differently. Millennials grew up with a more traditional structure. They might not love the annual performance review, but they're used to it. They expect scheduled formal check-ins to discuss progress and are generally more comfortable working autonomously between those sessions, trusting that no news is good news. Gen Z, on the other hand, was raised in the age of the infinite scroll and the instant like. Their entire digital life is one massive continuous feedback loop. Post a photo, get immediate comments. Play a game, get a real-time score. This has fundamentally wired them to expect the same cadence at work. They don't want to wait a year to find out how they're doing. They want feedback now. A Gen HQ study found that over 60% of Gen Zers need feedback from their manager at least every few weeks, and a staggering 20% want it daily. For them, feedback isn't a scary judgment, it's essential data. It's how they iterate, course correct, and improve in real time. This is where the wires get crossed. A Gen Z employee finishes a task and asks their millennial manager, "What do you think?" They're looking for quick data to optimize their next move. The manager busy with their own work might think, "I'll cover this in our one-on-one next month." For Gen Z, that silence isn't neutral, it's deeply negative. It can feel like their work is being ignored or that they've done something wrong. It's a major reason why, according to Gallup, younger workers are feeling a sharp decline in their opinion being valued at work. The solution managers need to shift from being reviewers to being coaches. This doesn't mean constant hour-long meetings. It means embracing microfeedback. A quick Slack message saying, "Great job on that report, next time try adding a summary slide," is more valuable to a Gen Z employee than a page of notes 3 months later. Implementing structures like a Feedback Friday or using project management tools for real-time comments can turn this friction point into a powerful engine for rapid growth and engagement. 5. Work values. The paycheck versus the purpose. Finally, we arrive at the core of it all, what makes work worth it. For millennials who came of age amidst economic instability, financial security, and a stable career path were often the primary goals. While they also desire purpose, their formative years often force them to prioritize a good paycheck and benefits as the foundation of a good life. Gen Z, while also facing immense financial pressures like inflation and student debt, has a different set of non-negotiables. They operate with a finely tuned authenticity radar, sharpened by years of navigating curated social media feeds. They expect the companies they work for to have a clear stance on social and ethical issues and to act on it. The data is striking. A 2023 Forbes report found that 70% of Gen Z would choose a company with a strong ethical position for lower pay compared to 58% of millennials. Another report revealed that nearly 2 in 5 Gen Zers have rejected a job or assignment because it didn't align with their personal values. This isn't just about climate change, it's about diversity and inclusion, mental health support, and transparency in leadership. Gen Z sees their employer as an extension of their own personal brand. Working for a company with a questionable reputation isn't just a job, it's a social liability. This creates a retention nightmare for companies that think salary and perks are enough. A millennial might stay at a job they don't love for the stability. A Gen Z employee is far more likely to walk away if they feel the company's values are hollow. To win, organizations must move beyond just stating their purpose and start living it. This means being transparent about their social impact, creating tangible opportunities for employees to contribute to meaningful projects, and fostering a culture where every voice, especially those of their youngest employees, is heard and has the power to create change. For Gen Z, a job isn't just a way to make a living. It's a platform to make a difference. Conclusion. So there you have it. 5 massive shifts in work culture that are less about generational flaws and more about generational programming. From instant chats to hard boundaries, from building skill portfolios to demanding purpose, these aren't just quirks. They are rational responses to the unique economic and technological worlds each generation inherited. The key isn't to decide which generation is right. It's to recognize that these differences, when understood, are a source of incredible strength. The millennial drive for structure combined with Gen Z's demand for agility can create a workplace that is both stable and innovative. Their different ambitions can build a workforce that is deep in leadership and broad in skills. The future of work isn't about forcing everyone into the same mold, it's about building a bridge of understanding. Because when we stop judging and start decoding, we unlock the true power of a multi-generational workforce. Does your company see these differences? Share your wildest workplace story in the comments. And if you found this video useful and want to keep bridging the generational divide, smash that subscribe button for GENSHIFT. You won't want to miss our upcoming episodes on multi-generational teamwork and leadership hacks.